Okay, so today we are talking about some unusual guitar mods and just how useful they are. I've done all of these to my guitars, and some of you have been asking questions about things you've seen on my guitars, and I thought, why not make a video about it? Okay, so before we get too far into this, what is an unusual mod that you do to your guitars that you want to share with others? It can be very simple. A lot of the ones I'm getting ready to show you, very easy mods. Now the other thing is, if you would, hit the subscribe button. Let's make 2025 just a killer rock and roll guitar year. And let's jump into these mods. So mod number one is on this guy right here. This is a 63 Firebird 3, and a lot of you guys have commented, sharp eyes, that this is not an original bridge here on this one, and you are correct. So the original bridge looks like this. So if you look at this, let me cover my face up. Oh, don't look at me. You can probably see the issues right away with this one. So you cannot actually intonate and adjust this bridge. It just is what it is. So this was done to this guitar before I got it. I got this guitar from good old Uncle Larry, and he had the guys at Glazier's transition it over to this adjustable bridge. So now the guitar actually plays in tune. I mean, it's really, really in tune. So mod number one, convert those old unadjustable bridges to something that you can actually fine tune and get in tune. Okay, so next we got a 2-for-1 special. This guitar has two issues that need modifications to it. So this is actually when I get a lot of questions from you guys. They're like, what is on your headstock? And the answer is a hair tie, because I'm a long hair, so I got hair ties. Now, you might be asking why, and a lot of you might know this, but it's important to realize that not everybody just knows everything about guitar. You know, this could be a beginner asking this question or something like that, but behind the nut, you get a lot of this. And sometimes, if you're, can you hear that? Guitars that don't have string trees and don't have locking nuts are extremely bad about this. And the Floyd Rose, or just a tremolo system, gives you a whole nother issue, which I'll talk about here in a second as well. So what I do to mute this, they make things called like groove gear, I think is what it's called, that mutes the strings, or people put tape, they do all kinds of stuff. I've always just put a hair tie on here, and you know that sound, again, I'm not sure how well you can hear that, but as soon as I put this on here, boom, it's done. It really is apparent whenever you're trying to do like real quick stops on the guitar. Or that kind of stuff, those will ring through, and sometimes you hear them on the recording and you're like, what am I hearing? You're like, those stupid sympathetic harmonics from behind the nut. So I always put this on guitars like this that have this issue. Now this guitar actually has another really bad issue. Now I love this guitar. This is probably my favorite guitar from last year. But any guitar that has a tremolo system and a built-in reverb tank back here can suffer from this problem. Again, I'm not sure how well the mic's gonna be able to pick this stuff up. Basically, those springs back there keep ringing, and the same issue that we were having up there before, now all of a sudden you can't get that real tight stop. So what you have to do is we're gonna take the back off here, and well, you can put anything you want back here. Some people put a piece of foam. Sometimes I just stick a sock back there, if I'm being honest. Anything to get that to stop ringing out. So another option is, of course, rubber-coated springs. That works really well, the silent springs. But also, this is just what I've done for years, and you know what? Find a piece of foam, anything laying around, just stick it in the back there, and it works 100% of the time. And sometimes I open up guitars to work on them, and like I said, I'm like, hey, there's that sock. So, anyways, the sock hair tie mod, it's pretty much top tier stuff. I'm sure all you at-home luthiers and techs are just like, yeah, this guy definitely knows what he's talking about. All right, got another double whammy here for you on the old Telecaster. He's gone country. So first things first, a lot of recurring issues with guitars is what is happening behind the nut, behind the bridge, stuff like that. And an issue that I had with my Telecaster was only the G rattled. Now that was not an issue that putting a hair tie back behind the nut actually fixed. It's different whenever it's just that sound, and then when the string is actually just vibrating and rattling around in the nut. And I wasn't really sure what the issue was with that until one day when I was at Glazier's, Nick was explaining what they have. It's called a 3-string tree or triple tree, whatever the name of it is. And I was just like, man, that sounds exactly like my problem. Now, I did a full video on this. I'll link it somewhere. You can just Google it if you want. Or Google it, YouTube it. And what they were explaining to me, I'm like, oh, that's the issue I have. I go, so that's why people put 2 string trees on their guitar. Well, this actually makes it so you don't have to. It goes in the same spot as your normal string tree, and then it just has an extra little, section there to cover the G, and all of a sudden, I didn't have that sitaring sound, or that rumble in the nut. So I thought that was kind of cool. So this, like I said, this is something that I've added to my Telecaster. Now the other mod, which I'm just throwing this one in here because I already got the Tele in my hands, is of course I added a bender. Now this one could be definitely unusual to people who haven't really gotten into country music. They may not even know what a bender is. So this is all, I mean, I did a video on this one too. They had to route through the whole body, do all kinds of stuff. And basically, to do all that, it bends the G string up a full step. That is what a bender does. So I've got this, and I can do really cool stuff. Stuff like that. It's really, really cool. I'm trying to stay in focus here, but look at that. So if I step back here, you can see all I'm doing is I'm doing like... So I will say that getting a bender put in a guitar is significantly more expensive. All the other mods have been pretty much free, or like the string tree one here is very affordable. I'll link that down below. And I will say this is not sponsored by the guys at Glazers. I just really love those guys. Hey Joe, hey Nick, Brad, Aaron, Charlie. Sorry if I missed anybody. But yeah, man, get that. This is a good one. Really, really good for Teles, I have to say. That triple tree, string tree thing is awesome. And I don't know, you're just sporting a cool company like Glacier. Alright, one more. And that is, of course, a very important and useful Les Paul mod. Now, the cool thing is, it's solely free. And it's very easy to do. Now, I've actually done a full video about this, how to keep your Les Pauls in tune, because I just don't have issues with mine staying in tune. Despite the lure that is out in the world of how Gibson 3/3 you can't stay in tune. All I have ever done, this is a very simple modification, and it's just the way you string up your guitar. So, if you're looking at your headstock, right here, your strings, a lot of times when people string, like here's your tuning peg, your post, they put the string in here, and they, are wrapping it up, getting the strings tight, and they wind down. All you have to do is on the G or B, whatever string's giving you tuning issues, to change the break angle, when you are winding it, wind up the post. So if you're looking at mine, right here, you can see how, I'm terrible at stringing up guitars, but even with my lack of ability to actually make a tuning peg look nice, you can see how it is tuned up, or it's wound up. That changes the break angle just a little bit across the nut, and boom, it's in tune. I've never used any of the string butlers or any of those things. I just do this one thing. This is something that a tech showed me many, many years ago, and it's just always worked. All my Les Pauls stay totally in tune, and again, no issues. That's it. An incredibly simple, but maybe unusual mod. Alright gang, there you have it. So hopefully you enjoyed those. Maybe you learned something. Maybe some of these you weren't doing that you can go and try yourself. Like I said, the majority of them, very simple, affordable / free. The only one that was kind of like, up there a little bit would of course be adding a G bender to your guitar, because you need to take that to a professional. But other than that, these are all simple things that anyone can do. And hope you enjoyed those. I'd be curious to see what some of you guys say that you do to your guitars down below. And like I said before, if you would subscribe, and let's just keep 2025 rocking. All right, later homies, bye.